Hello and welcome back to goldstocktrades.com. Today we have a new and special guest with us, Mark Brown. Mark is executive chairman of Avrupa Minerals. Avrupa can be traded as AVU on the TSX Venture and as AVPMF on the US OTC. Thanks, Mark, for being here with us today.
Hey, it's great to be here. Thanks for having me, Jeff.
Avrupa has several projects. You've had some exciting discoveries. Why don't you take us through some of the history up to 2017 of the company and give my subscribers an introduction to the Avrupa Minerals story?
Sure, I'd love to do that. We started the company about 6 years ago, so it wasn't great timing because it was right at the beginning of the downturn. But we've definitely been busy for those 6 years. And first of all, the word Avrupa is actually Turkish for Europe. So we're focused on exploration in Europe. And the two main countries there are Kosovo and Portugal. Both of those countries have very important mining belts or mining trends. In Kosovo, it's called the Vardar Trend, and it's particularly mostly base metals, some gold. And same thing in Portugal. There's the Iberian Pyrite Belt. And one thing these areas have in common is they're known to host very, very large deposits. Neves Corvo mine, owned by Lundin Mining, is one example in the Iberian Pyrite Belt in southern Portugal. So we have two key projects in southern Portugal and one key project in Kosovo. And during this downturn, we've still managed to have two drill programs every year of the company. Most of them funded by our partners. So we brought in partners as a way of getting exploration done faster. And what that's led to is an interesting number, Jeb, that we've actually spent $1.50 on exploration for every dollar that we have raised in the markets from shareholders. And all that work has led to two discoveries. Gold discovery in Kosovo, where we initially hit 126 meters of 6 grams per ton gold. And that's become a small but growing deposit. And we'll probably end up with a royalty on that as our partner dilutes us on that project. And then our two key projects in Portugal, with both have the potential to be very large, are Alvito, which we have a partner just starting an exploration program on. We expect them to be drilling later this year on that program. And that's an IOCG, iron oxide copper gold project. And iron oxide copper gold projects are typically very, very large. So again, it's a big target over a wide area. We've done quite a bit of work to hone into drill targets. We'll do a little bit more this summer and then hopefully be drilling later in the summer. And then on the Alvalade project, also in southern Portugal, it's more a typical VMS, volcanogenic massive sulfide type deposit. And that is very similar to the Neves Corvo mine, and we're about 50 kilometers away from it. As a matter of fact, we're right off of the rail line that goes from Neves Corvo to the coast of Portugal that ships their ore. We made a discovery there about 3 years ago when our partner was Antofagasta Minerals. And we hit things like 10 meters of high-grade copper, lead, zinc. As a matter of fact, all the intercepts added up to about more than 10% metals in the core there. And we've hit that over a large area, about 1.8 kilometers so far. We've got a current partner there that's in default on that project, and we hope to get it back soon because it's a really exciting project, and we could drill it ourselves, or we could find a new partner for that one. So a lot going on in the company, base and precious metals focus, and lots of success to date, and we really, really think we're undervalued.
What's so interesting when I was studying Avrupa, Mark, is the share structure. Greater than 50% of the shares are held by insiders, and the business model where you use other companies' money to help advance these projects. Could you kind of highlight what's unique about Avrupa from a share structure and a business model perspective?
Well, because we follow, this is a very, very risky business, as you know. So we're all big shareholders of the company. Myself and one of the other directors each own, or our groups own around 15% each of the company. So there's about 30% of the company that's owned by people very closely associated with members of the board, and a lot of that is on the insider reports. Um, so that's a key thing, that we've had very supportive shareholders. We've tried to mitigate risk by bringing in partners on projects. We do a lot of the exploration work that's early stage, and then get the more expensive drilling funded by partners. And if you think that we're looking for really, really big targets, that also means you need pretty big drill programs. So, Antofagasta spent about $6.5 million US on the Alvalade project when they were a partner there. And those are the kinds of things we're trying to do. Right now in Kosovo, we have a €5 million drilling program going on. That's all funded by our partner, Burncut International there. So we've had some great partners. So that, bringing the partners in helps our share structure to stay a little bit tighter. Having major shareholders also helps with that, and these are long-term investors. And it contributes, obviously, it makes the shares even a little bit more volatile, and gives them more potential for the shareholders to make a good return. And the only problem we've had with all of this is that we made a couple of our best discoveries in the middle of the downturn. And that wasn't great. I mean, the shareholders then made a lot of money. The stocks ran up. And as we've come out of the downturn, we've had some slower times. And people have a little bit forgot about us, I think. And we need to kind of get going on these projects again, which is what we're planning to do this summer.
Why don't you talk to us about some of the experience of the geologist? Because from what I understand, you also are working on possibly expanding with new projects in Europe.
That's right. We are. We're looking at new projects in Kosovo, new projects in other countries in Europe, and even more additional ones in Portugal. So our team over there is led by a gentleman called Paul Kuhn, and Paul's a very interesting fellow. But he's an American geologist, and he worked for Kaminko, which is now owned by Teck, of course, in Turkey for quite a number of years, and was involved with several discoveries there, projects that you would know the name of actually. He also worked in Northern Europe, in Norway, and then got involved in these things in Kosovo and Portugal. And these are big, big mining areas, like I said. So they're also mining-friendly areas. The government want to bring in mining. But Paul's put together a team in each place of geologists that he's trained and that have their own experience, that are also very creative geologists, not the kind of guys that to follow the standard, method of geology, the kind of guys to think out of the box. And that kind of thinking, coupled with modern techniques, is what we're applying. And we're taking historical data. We get a lot of data from the geological surveys in Kosovo and Portugal. And we spend huge amounts of time going through that data and thinking outside the box on it, and applying modern techniques to the prospecting and targeting. And that, I think, is what's led to the discovery of gold in Kosovo, and the discovery of the copper, lead, zinc in Alvalade in southern Portugal.
Mark, there's been over 15 million funded from JV partners. You guys have raised over 12 million to date. Can you talk to us a little bit about the opportunity for new investors in Avrupa, the amount of work that's gone in over the past few years of new discoveries, and at the same time raising all this money and having all this money from other partners that have come in, that have funded development exploration, um, and the
Yeah,
opportunity that lies here.
absolutely. I mean, we actually have two 43101 compliant resources. One on a tungsten project we don't talk much about, and one on the gold project in Kosovo. We've made the other discovery in a very large area in Alvalade, and these things are happening now, and we're going to be advancing them this year more aggressively, simply because the metal prices are getting better and better, and we're getting more and more interest from outsiders on our projects. Now, having said that, if there was a key project that we really, really liked ourselves, we wouldn't hesitate to drill it ourselves. A lot of that depends on the size of the project. For example, some of these projects need, a $5 to $10 million drill program. These aren't necessarily small projects. The Alvido project, which we just optioned out to Oz Minerals, they're doing some initial work now, and they're going to be doing some drilling later in the year. But that's a 300 square kilometer project, and the belt is 24 kilometers long. Now, we've narrowed that down into 16 drill target areas with some great surface sample, soil, and chip results. But that what really moves the stock in these things is getting drill results. So Avrupa itself has had 2 drill programs every year of its life, even through the downturn in the metals. And we're hoping we get a little more appreciation for good drill results this year. We're going to have 2 drill programs for sure this year, and we will have results coming out over the next few months, right into the fall. And that's the kind of thing that can, really move a stock. And if you get good drill results, you get potential for us getting diluted to a royalty where we have to issue no further shares, and just collect cash if these things go into production or sell the royalty. But what I think is more likely is actually you make a big discovery, and of course, you get a takeout offer, and that can be from a partner or from a third party. And that's really what we're trying to do. We're not planning on going into production on these things. We're looking for big deposits. They're economic, high grade, and that are going to be attractive to a major.
So, Mark, if you could just summarize some of the plans for 2017. Of course, some of my readers and myself are interested. What sort of news flow or catalyst can we expect going through the summer?
Well, I think we've got it lined up pretty good. We'll be drilling. The first drill program will be in the Slavovo Gold Project in Kosovo, and that one will be following up on 3 drill holes that we drilled last August that actually ended in gold mineralization. So there's a very good chance we'll hit some gold in those holes. It's also going to be looking at 2 satellite areas around that deposit, which could take the roughly 120,000 ounces that's there and make it a lot bigger. And that's why we're spending so much drilling there, or why our partner is spending so much drilling there. So that news flow will be coming out steadily here, and they're starting imminently. And then we'll be doing some work on the Alvido project funded by Oz Minerals. And that work will lead to a drill program later in this year. So we'll have some initial work to report on what we're doing there, and we'll have some drill results later in the year. In addition, we've done some sampling on projects in Kosovo. We'll have some results from that coming up. We actually did drill a couple of holes in one little project, which the idea there was to kind of drill for geology. This is a new project in Portugal. And if those turn out okay, then we'll probably be able to get a good partner on that project in the next little while. We hope to get our Alvalade project back. That's another one that will be coming up. There's a timeline set for that, and we'll see. Our partner has been in default for some time now, so we're going through the process to do that. And that is the one where we made a discovery a few years ago. And in addition to that, we have 2 other projects we're looking at finding partners for. So we'll see if all that happens, but it's going to be a very, very busy year, lots of news flow for us.
Mark Brown, Executive Chairman of Avrupa Minerals, which can be traded as AVU on the TSX Venture and as AVPMF on the US OTC. Get more info by going to Avrupa AVRUPA Minerals.com. Thanks, Mark, for being here with us today and for giving us an introduction into your story.
Thanks so much, Jeb. I hope I covered everything.